What's going on, guys? Welcome back to AnySport. Today we're looking at the top 10 greatest dynasties in NFL history. At number 10, the Oakland Raiders from 1970 to 1983. The Raiders were a team that in the early 70s always seemed to be on the verge of greatness, only to be knocked back down the hill by the Dolphins and Steelers. That all changed with their win over the Steelers in the 1976 AFC Championship game. The Raiders, much like the Cowboys, had so much missed opportunities in close games that the number of world championships could be much higher than just 3, but 3 is still a lot. John Madden got the Raiders their first in Super Bowl 11, and Tom Flores took over and guided the Raiders to 2 more Super Bowl titles in the early 80s. At number 9, the Dallas Cowboys from 1991 to 1996. This is a dynasty that was ended by an egotistical owner who didn't like his head coach getting all the credit. Jimmy Johnson came to the Cowboys in 1989, and with the cupboard bare proceeded to make maybe the greatest trade in NFL history, and then topped it all off by absolutely nailing his first few drafts for the Cowboys. So how did owner Jerry Jones reward him? He fired him. Jones then brought in his buddy Barry Switzer to coach the team, which did result in a Super Bowl title 2 years later, but Cowboy fans will always wonder what might have been. At number 8, the Miami Dolphins from 1971 to 1974. The Dolphins dynasty was a short one, but it was undoubtedly dominant in the early 70s. The Dolphins played in 3 straight Super Bowls, winning their last 2. In 1974, the dynasty ended when the Dolphins lost the Sea of Hands game to the Oakland Raiders. At number 7, the Denver Broncos from 1983 to 1998. The Broncos regime started with the arrival of QB John Elway. Elway would lead the Broncos to 5 Super Bowls, winning just 2. The Broncos behind Elway were known for dramatic come-from-behind wins in the playoffs during the 1980s. At number 6, the Cleveland Browns from 1946 to 1955. Yep, believe it or not, the Cleveland Browns made this list. The Browns, led by the legendary Paul Brown, played in 10 consecutive championship games. The first few of those were in the AAFC, which folded, and the Browns were absorbed by the NFL. Upping the competition in the NFL did not slow them down, though. On offense, they had QB Otto Graham, one of the greatest of all time, and guys like Marion Motley in the backfield and Dante Lavelli hauling in passes. At number 5, the Green Bay Packers in 1960 to 1967. Vince Lombardi arrived in Green Bay in 1959 and took over a bad Packers team. In the first year, they had a winning record. By his second year, they were in his NFL championship game. Lombardi was responsible for building the first dynasty of the Super Bowl era, and that's why the trophy's named after him. At number 4, the Washington Redskins from 1982 to 1992. The Redskins were built by legendary head coach Joe Gibbs. The most amazing part of this dynasty is the fact that in a 10-year span, the Redskins won the Super Bowl with 3 different quarterbacks. Joe Theismann, Doug Williams, and Mark Rypien were all Super Bowl winners under Joe Gibbs. They were also dealing with the NFC being at its most competitive, and they had to get past the Giants, Bears, and 49ers just to get to the Super Bowl. At number 3, the Pittsburgh Steelers from 1972 to 1979. Before the arrival of head coach Chuck Noll, the Steelers were one of the worst organizations in all of professional football. That all changed with the arrival of Noll. Noll drafted many players that would become future Hall of Famers and turned around the floundering franchise in just a matter of a few years. The 74 and 75 championship teams were dominated by one of the greatest defenses of all time. The 78 and 79 championship teams, while still good defensively, were now also an explosive offensive team. At number 2, the San Francisco 49ers from 1981 to 1998. Much like Noll and Lombardi, coach Bill Walsh took over a terrible team and turned them into one of the greatest dynasties in sports history. Led by the great QB Joe Montana and later Steve Young, the 49ers were dominant for close to 20 years. And at number 1, the New England Patriots from 2001 to 2020. This dynasty was started by an unfortunate early season injury to Patriots star QB Drew Bledsoe. Little did anybody know at the time it was the best possible thing that could have happened to the Patriots. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video of the top 10 greatest dynasties in NFL history. If you enjoyed, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe and have a great day.